Dr. Price, I just got tagged while we were recording this video, previous videos, Buddy Jasper Sky in Mythical Jesus versus Historical Jesus Facebook group. Whatever happened to this project? It is or was a project involving many scholars aimed at asking exactly the question this Facebook group is asking. Was there a historical Jesus? Excerpt from the article linked below, The Jesus Project, an initiative of the Center for Inquiry, an Amherst-based secular think tank, and its Committee for the Scientific Examination of Religion, CSER. The project is an extension of the no less controversial Jesus Seminar, which has been convening twice annually for 23 years. There's one key difference. Whereas the seminar has operated on the premise that Jesus was an actual person, it was what he said and did that is up for grabs. The scholars in this latest effort regard Jesus' existence as a testable hypothesis. And this is thestar.com. For scholars, a combustible question: was Christ real?
Yeah, I read this the other day also. I wonder if, I think Jasper, is it, that asked this? I get the impression he knows what the article, well, I don't know how old the article is, but the Jesus Project was over 10 years ago, and after one meeting it went defunct. No pun on Bob Funk, who was one of the guys that started the Jesus Seminar. But the guiding genius behind the Jesus Project was R. Joseph Hoffman, who is really a brilliant guy. And he's taught all over the world and written interesting books, especially a book on Marcion, which is just incredible. And it was published by American Academy of Religion Scholars Press. And it really is eye-opening. Well, he seemed to be a mythicist, but then kind of switched back and forth erratically. I think what really got the Jesus Project off to a bad start was, there was a great first meeting. Actually, there were a couple of them. One out at Davis College in California, where I gave a paper and various other people did really good stuff. And then we had one up at the Center for Inquiry at Amherst, and Robert Eisenman was there. The John Dominic Crossan was at the first one. A lot of really great people. But the problem with it was that they sent Carol, who was doing the website for it, a list of people that had agreed to be fellows or whatever of the Jesus Project, but it wasn't. And it was just a list of conference participants. And here we started hearing from them saying, I didn't sign up for this. What's going on here? You're drafting us? And that really destroyed it. And eventually we got them to apologize for the error. And it just trailed off, and that was it. There was never another meeting. And this was really a couple of books with essays, the papers given there. And I thought it had a real promise, but it just collapsed. And I then, at some point, I was under consideration to revive the thing, and I came up with a formula that I wish could be done today, where they hadn't originally figured on doing this, but I said, tell you what, let's have the meeting structured in a series of sessions where you would have somebody give a paper. You'd have three categories. You would have mainstream critical scholars. You'd have tinfoil hat wearing nuts like me saying Jesus didn't exist. And you'd have scholarly evangelical apologists. Any one would give the paper, and representatives of the other two would critique it and discuss it. I think that would be great. I mean, you'd have to make your best case and expose it to immediate criticism or analysis. That would have been great, but it didn't happen. So I'm hoping somehow the Jesus Project might come about, and then I would like to extend it to having the Paul Project, which we also had at the West Star Institute. We had the seminar and the Paul seminar and so forth. I made a presentation on Pauline pseudepigraphy, how he didn't write any of the Dutch radical thing, and pretty much got laughed off stage by these supposed radicals of the Jesus seminar. And I said, you're willing to throw Jesus to the wolves, but not Paul, because you still need him. It didn't go over too well. But I made my reputation at the seminar with my Saturday night banquet joke routines. I really had them rolling in the aisles. But at any rate, yeah, I'd love to revive that and have annual conferences someplace, but we'd need a bunch of bucks to be able to do it. And I guess we're going to, maybe in the future somebody will, some critical angel will make it possible.
Yeah, someone who's got the bank. I'm with you.